What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yours truly, Kendrick McKnight here, back again with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Conversations with Kendrick, episode 10. 10 of these things, man. It's crazy. I initially had this thought a couple months ago, and then a vision 10 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 people wanting to talk to me. That's crazy. But we're here at 10 episode, and who do we have today, man? We have a very special individual for the 10th episode, someone that I had the pleasure in meeting. Man, we got the one and the only, Miss Kyra Ann Watson. How you doing today?
Not my whole government.
Yeah, of
My
course.
whole government. Thanks. Well,
How you doing
hi.
today?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's your day going?
My day is going very, very well. Um,
Mhm.
just a chill and relaxed day. Any day where I'm just relaxing is a good day to me.
Yeah, for sure. What's your Of course, we're gonna get into it, but like outside of work, what is your go-to thing to relax?
Well, sleep. Right now in the chapter of my life that I'm in, it's definitely resting, relaxing, sleep.
Mm,
I'm a big reader, so now that I have a little bit of relief in my schedule, I'm back to reading.
mm,
Um, just back to doing the things that I absolutely want to do, just haven't done in a while,
mm.
like all my hobbies and stuff, walking, arts and crafts. I'm a jack of all trades, honestly. So, yeah.
No, I got you. I got a couple more questions for you. Ready? You ready for it?
Yep.
What are three qualities that you personally look for in a friendship?
In a friendship, three qualities.
Yeah.
I would say communication is
Hmm.
key. Um, I don't know why the word loyalty keeps coming up into my head. I don't know what that's about, but I
That
would
should
say
be number one.
loyalty. Huh?
That should be number one.
Um, that's debatable to me. Communication, like, I don't know. In this day and age, communication can be very, very iffy. So I'm very like
That's true. Yeah.
headstrong about that one.
Mm,
I don't know. Like I kind of feel like they're interchangeable. I don't know if I'm using the right term, but like you really can't profess like loyalty to someone if you can't communicate to them.
that's true. Okay.
So communication, loyalty, and then just authenticity, honestly, just being yourself. I really,
Yeah.
really value that, like in friendships, because then that allows me to feel comfortable to be myself as well. And just also feel comfortable to like go to that friend in the time of need or, just anything like that and not feel judged or anything like that. So I really look for those three when I look for a friend. What
It's a
about you?
solid list. So there's three F words in this world that I'm very picky about. Obviously, number one is food. You know that. Number two is who I call my friends and who I call my family.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like for me, to me, loyalty is number one. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Communication, yeah. Two, and honestly, I'm gonna just steal yours. Just being upfront, being yourself, coming to me about things that's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, and me feeling comfortable to do so. Um, that's something rare for me as far as like being comfortable. It takes time for me. Not a lot of people understand that when they first meet me.
Hmm.
They expect 1000% of me when they first meet me. You know what I mean? When I give them 15. You know what I mean? Because I'm really just like I'm just one of those guys, man. Like I observe everything, I pay attention, and if I like your vibe, then slowly but surely,
Hmm.
the real me comes to the surface. But yeah, that's a that's a rare list that I have as far as like people that I can truly say are my friends.
I'm gonna steal your number four because you know I'm a foodie as well. So yeah, if we're gonna be friends, we gotta be able to chop it up over some food, cuisine, something. So I'm gonna steal one of yours.
Speaking of food, that's a great segue. My second question is, give me if you had the opportunity to have dinner with five celebrities, any celebrity in the world,
Hmm,
who are those five?
five celebrities.
It could be athlete, musician, artist. Like you said, you're a reader, so like any authors, it could be anybody.
Um, okay, so first person that came to mind, or first two people I would say would be like Simone Biles or Gabby Douglas, who are famous gymnasts. You know, I'm a
Yeah,
gymnastics person too. That was like my sport back in the day, so I would definitely want to like sit down with them. I would have to say an author, but like I don't know specifically who. I would have to like go through my top authors, which I can't. There's too many right now.
yeah.
That's three, right? Another two. Um, if I could sit down and have dinner with the singer Her, I would probably flip. I would probably flip, like I would lose it. That is my all-time favorite. Well, not all time, but favorite, like second favorite, like artist. And if this person were still alive, I would definitely want to sit down with her, which is Aaliyah. I'm a huge Aaliyah fan. So yeah,
Yeah,
I would sit, those would be my top choices. But there's so many more. I feel like I'm
it's only
missing
five.
somebody.
Only
I
five.
know, but I feel like I'm missing somebody.
You
That's a
said
hard
Simone
one.
Biles, her, Aaliyah, if possible. And who was the other two? You had an author and
I said an
someone.
author. I would have to like figure out which author though, honestly. And well, I could definitely say like an author right now who's very like well known is Kennedy Ryan, and I really like. I've heard a lot about her books. I've tried to read some of her books, but I haven't been able to like fully get into them like I wanted to. So I would have to say Kennedy Ryan as an author, and then I said Gabby Douglas. Yeah.
Solid. I'm pretty sure you know like at least like my number one for sure.
Oh yeah. Drake.
Yeah, okay, yeah. My other four. Me personally, I like being around people. I would like to be around people that I feel like I can learn from.
Mm,
So, um, I put Will in there. Smith.
okay.
Oh, Viola.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, what's that? Three.
Hmm.
Uh, The Rock.
I can see that one coming. Yeah.
Fifth. mm, maybe Michael B. Put Michael B in there.
See, that's why I need 10. I can't choose just five. I need 10 because I would put him on my list too. Yeah.
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 Give me your because I'm pretty sure you have a lot, but what's your favorite travel story?
My favorite travel story.
Yeah.
I could say, well, does it have to be a funny? Can it be like just about
It could be
anything?
something that inspired you. It could be something that was funny. It could be
Okay.
anything.
Okay, cool. So, because I don't really have a lot of, well, I don't really have a lot of funnies, but I did just recently travel to Dubai in October of 2023. And that I would have to say was like, I've been to Aruba, but those are the only two like international places that I've been to now. And that trip, I would say, would have to be my favorite as well as the most memorable. I will definitely say that a 14-hour flight there and back straight with no layovers is not fun. 10 out of 10 would not recommend that, but had to do what you had to do. It was definitely interesting. Like the 14 hours there, luckily, my mom and I ended up with our like two seats next to us completely free so we could spread out and everything, which is great. But again, 14 hours in a cramped up plane with babies and a bunch of other people, that's a lot. But like, no, seriously, once we got there, Dubai, we like spent a whole week there. The culture, the food, well, not really the food, but like the food is more on resorts and stuff like Americanized still, but it is definitely very fresh. So it took me a while to like kind of get back in the swing of things when I got back to the States. But just the culture, being around everything, going to the malls, going like to just different sites and everything. It was really, really cool to see. It was very much hot all the time, and it's a dry heat. So, which I mean, I expected, but when you get there, you really like, as soon as you step off the plane, you're like, ooh, all right,
Hmm.
like I need some water. But it was just really, really nice. Like, I don't know, the hotel stay, everything was just different. They don't believe in doors on the showers or anything, so you're just like wide open to the bathroom. That was different. But it was really cool. And my resort and the suite and everything was absolutely amazing. We had a pool by our in our room or like in our
Yeah.
balcony. It was really, really cool. There were a couple nights that I was able to fall asleep outside like on the balcony, so it was really, really nice. And it was just different. The time zone change was not fun because as I was up, everybody here was sleeping, so that was like very
Hmm.
different to get in contact with like family and friends and stuff while I was there. But all in all, I would say that would have to be like my all-time favorite trip. Like I just really felt, I don't know, just free there, which is different to say because like Dubai, people associate that with like a lot of, restrictions and you can't do a lot of things, but going there, and if you're going there for like the right type of fun, then I feel like you would definitely enjoy it. So yeah, that was my favorite trip.
I don't know if that's going to be on my list of things to go to, but we'll see.
It's different. It's definitely something to experience, I would say, at least once. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't want to like go back there like soon, but I would go back. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I recently had gotten so like two major things as far as travel that I want to do this year, just like goals. Number one was getting my passport, and I finally got that maybe like what a month and a half ago. And my second is going to New York for New Year's. I don't know if I've expressed that to you before, but I've always wanted to do that. And I think this is a perfect time to do it this year because, as you know, my dad passed on New Year's Eve, and this year would make it 11 years. And obviously, his birthday is literally 11 days. after his death date, and I've always expressed going to there with him all the time. So like I think it would just be a perfect thing to do. Just 11-11. Uh, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very expensive, clearly, but we're gonna make it work for sure.
Yeah. I definitely would want to do that around New Year's too. But it's an experience, I feel like,
Yeah,
that I feel like everybody should kind of be able to have. But this year I'm kind of planning a different trip around the holidays, so I'm excited about that.
where you going this time?
So I am actually planning a trip to Seattle with one of my best friends for a week, the week before Christmas, actually. So I am very, very excited for that. I know that's not a normal vacation spot, but I have lately just been obsessed with just seeing like Seattle's like rain and just the weather. I'm a rainy day type of person. I absolutely love the rain. I feel like it's very soothing, very calming. And so I really just want to go and experience Seattle like in its cold, rainy season. So why not?
Yeah, you have fun with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. As far as like my list of places that I want to go, like overseas anyway. Um, London for sure. That's number one. I've always wanted to go to London. Um, I've always had an interest in going to Australia for some reason.
That would be cool.
See what that life is like. Somewhere that I know for sure I'll never go. Well, I ain't gonna say never because you never say never, but a place that is like very like low on my list to go to is like China, like Japan and stuff like that. Because again, I'm picky and food over there and me just don't, it's not gonna mix, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just starved out there for real. So I'm not even gonna attempt to go.
I
But
love it.
yeah, you.
I love
But
sushi, so
yeah,
stuff
but
like that.
yeah,
I don't know. You might actually like be surprised. They have a lot of ramen. I don't know. I don't know. Ramen, pho. Well, it's really like pho, but
pho,
it's called pho. Am I
what
saying that
that
right?
is.
No, it's not F. PHO. It's like ramen.
Joe ramen. I'm gonna have to look that up after this.
It's good.
What's the
It's
spell?
well, okay, wait a second. Pho is like Vietnamese. So wait, back that up. That's not China or like Japan, but still like within the same realm.
Region. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
We'll
you never
see.
know.
Yeah. So my next question to you is this, right? And I should have asked you that before the travel story, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So your birthday is coming up, and you get the opportunity to invite 5 musicians to perform there. Who are you picking?
Five musicians.
Yeah, it's a big extravaganza. We're celebrating you. 5 musicians that you want to perform there.
Mm. I could probably come up with two if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Who?
Like
Two.
two. Okay, so I'm really, really in a season right now where I'm not like listening to a lot of music, which is kind of crazy. I know it's different. It's very, very different. I'm not listening to a lot of music right now, and I feel very out of the loop because a lot of people are coming out with a bunch of albums and songs and everything, and I'm just
Hmm.
not listening to it. But I would say I don't want to butcher her name. I really don't. Is it Snow Allegra or something like that? You
Who
know
that?
who? Um, yeah, I am pretty sure that's her name. Like I'm probably butchering the second part of her name, but it's Snoh. You've heard her music before. You've had to. You just probably didn't know it. And then again, I would go back to her. I am a huge her fan.
Okay.
Um, I know my big extravaganza is not like hype extravaganza. Mine is more so like mellow vibe R&B type, which I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Um, that would be my two for now. I would really have to like look on my phone to see
Yeah.
who three more would be, but again, like I said, I'm really not listening to music right now.
Again, you would know who's my number one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Number two, I would say J. Cole for sure. Um, three, I gotta have a female in there. I feel like uh, maybe Rihanna.
Okay. I will take that. I like her. I really like her. Please just as long as you didn't say Beyonce.
Oh no, she
Please.
cool, but I ain't...
And Beehive, don't come for me.
oh, they coming.
Just don't come for me.
uh, four and five, I would say the two Justins, Bieber and Timberlake.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
it's a good mix of rap, pop, and R&B.
Yeah, that's a good mix.
Little sprinkle of soul in there. You know what I mean? But number four, how big of a movie person are you?
I'm not a huge movie person. I am more
Really?
a series person, like TV shows and series and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay, perfect. What
Yeah.
would you say is your favorite scene in a TV series?
Mm. Man, you're coming with the questions today. Favorite scene? I was expecting you to ask me like favorite like TV series. I feel like that would be so much easier to
Nah,
answer.
nah.
Um, favorite scene. It's gonna come from Grey's Anatomy or Grey's Anatomy or The Good Doctor or a medical show, just in general. Um, because
Yeah.
that's just who I am. I would definitely say I would say from Grey's Anatomy, and this is gonna sound absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy, but every time I watch the episode where like Derek Shepherd dies in there, gets me every time. I wouldn't say favorite, but like that is like most memorable, and it will make me shed a tear every time. Um, from The Good Doctor, I would say favorite scenes, anything with let me see here. Dr. Allen. She's a black doctor, black surgeon actually on the show. And I believe she is actually like from the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and overall, like just any scene with her in it, she A1 actress for real in her like parts. And she portrays herself as, like I said, a black surgeon, Christian woman, as well as, like advocate for patients, stuff like that. So I really just like her character and everything.
Okay, that's solid. You know what I mean? Now, for me, I'm more of a movie guy than TV series. So I have so many favorite movies, in so many different genres. But just off top, um, have you seen Bad Boys 3?
Mhm.
You remember the scene where um they call it in interviews, they call it the breakup scene. You remember the scene where, Mike survived and he was trying to get Marcus to get on that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Marcus said no and walked away. That one. I don't know. I like the emotion out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can literally see both sides of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I like that one. And then, which one was it? I think three. Toy Story 3. You seen Toy Story 3?
I've seen all the Toy Stories.
Do you remember the scene where they all hold hands and they was about to go together, go out
Yeah,
together in that fire? Yeah.
touched you.
Um, let's do. Can I give you one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Your time is valuable, so like I don't want to, you know what I mean. But those are the top two that I can, you know, think of right now. I'll come back to you on that one because like I said, I have too many. So number next, my no, next question to you is this: what is your biggest fear?
Mm. I would say my biggest fear is not um not using all of the gifts that were given to me or not like reaching my fullest potential. Um Not to get like super spiritual, but I just feel like God gives us certain gifts and I just want to be able to like use all of them to the fullest potential. I want to be able to really make an impact, even if it's just on one person. Um, and that's it. Like, I don't want to leave this earth without, like, with any regrets. I'll say that. And just feeling like I left things undone or unfinished. So I would think that that would be my biggest fear. It's just more so, uh, just not reaching the fullest potential that's set out for me.
I have two, and one of them is kind of like in alignment with that. It's like not checking everything off on my list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's me. And I try my best not to think about it as far as like the negatives of it. And I have to continuously reassure myself like I'm going to do it. It's not a if, it's a when. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah. And then number two is kind of it's more of an insecurity thing for me, why I feel this way and just me being me. But my biggest fear, I would say, is being a dad. Not because of me not wanting that, because that's always been the dream for me. But you know me, I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be great. And that idea of being the sole protector of this human being that God blessed you with, that's a scary thing. Like, what if I mess up? You know what I mean? What if I do this wrong or say this wrong? How is this blessing going to feel about it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that scares me. You know what I mean? So I don't I just don't want to be a failure in that sense. You know what I mean? Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. But I think that like having the vulnerability, ooh, I had to say that very slow. Having that like vulnerable like state with yourself, but also being able to voice that to your kids, I think is super important because then it will help them like to be able to see the reason why you are going to do the things that you're going to do, the decisions that you're going to make, and the things that you're going to say. Not to make it like as an excuse, but to also, again, just be vulnerable. And, I feel like, I feel like I understand where the fear is coming from, but I also feel like too that you come into this world only knowing your parents, and so it's like as long as you're trying, I feel like as long as you're trying, there's not going to be like mistakes, if that makes sense. Like you're going to make mistakes as a parent. You're going to fall short of the line sometimes. You're not going to be perfect all the time, but I feel like at the end of the day, like that's a different type of love that you can't take away, or that can just be gone in a second.
Yeah.
um yeah, I just feel like it's one of those things of if you're vulnerable with your kids, I feel like they'll understand, and also having that open line of communication will make things different too.
Going back to that C word, communication. That should be the title of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Communication.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I get that. I don't know. It's just the idea of it just scares me a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah. I also want to be in like the right situation as well. Like be with the right person. So yeah, I don't feel like crying right now. So
I'm sorry, I didn't make
no,
you.
you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
No, I
So
just feel I just feel like we as people, like if we continue to put out there, those fears and those statements or anything like that,
yeah,
then it's gonna happen because you keep putting it out there. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things of it's okay to put it out there in a vulnerable state and say that, like, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm like feeling, but you never know. You could easily get to that point and it just comes supernatural to you. Like you just never know. But again, like I said,
yeah,
communication with not only your partner but also your kids is huge. So that people have so many motives behind like what they do without even saying it. So I feel like if you say it, it makes it, like I said, a little bit easier to understand where you're coming from when you do the things that you do.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. My next question is this, like, because I asked my brother this the other day, so I'm gonna ask you, right? Because in today's generation, the saying is standing on business, right? What
Mm.
what is what's something in your life that you like you stay firm on and you stand on business on?
Mm. I would say right now that I am standing firm or standing on business about my complete and total healing. I'm really not compromising with that. I used to, and I'm not doing that anymore. I really am standing on that now more than ever because you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You get sick and tired of, trying to appease other people or trying to just fit a societal norm that you're not even supposed to fit into. So it's just one of those
Yeah,
things where I'm gonna stand firm on like what makes me happy, what is gonna help me heal, what's gonna help me, move forward in the healthiest way possible. So I would say that I will add in some sub notes about my family and my circle. I'm gonna stand firm on them. And then, of course, just staying firm on the business of just trying to reach my goals. Like nothing's coming in between
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Nothing. So yeah.
I'm the same as far as like staying firm on knowing what I want to do in life. And like I said, it's a win, not a if. My goals. I stand firm for sure on my mental health and making sure I'm good rather than always making sure this person, this person, this person. Then I lay my head at night and I realize I do nothing for myself.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, my mental health for sure, my self-care, making sure, I get haircuts, you know what I mean? That's real big on me, my hygiene, you know what I mean? Um, going to the movies or going to a restaurant that I like, just taking care of me and eating what I actually eat, you know what I'm saying? So that's important. My family, my brothers, my mom, my grandma, you know what I'm saying? Again, that F word, you know, yeah, I'm very firm on who I call my family, and those are the four for sure. My sister as well, my brother, my older brother. Um, so yeah, I'm one of those where um yeah, I stand on business with them, you know what I mean? And anything happens, you know, so
Yeah.
I don't want to put that type of energy out there, but I'm just being honest. But you said
It's,
what?
I mean, it's typical.
I mean, yeah. But how many of those was that? Like three, four that I said?
Yeah, like three or four.
Yeah. Mm, yeah, those are the biggest ones for sure for me. Um, yeah. So tell me more about you. Now, for the people that's going to watch this, most of the information, maybe even half of the information that Miss Watson is going to share, I probably already know it already, but this is just like a refresher, you know what I'm saying, for the people that watches this, you know what I'm saying? So tell people more about you. Like where were you born and raised at? How was life growing up? And
Um,
yeah,
okay, so born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, still in Richmond, Virginia, just on the outskirts, basically, if you want to say.
yeah.
Um, how was it being like growing up? I mean, it was pretty good. Uh, I up until I was five, my parents were together, and then they did divorce when I was five. So I was raised in a single parent household. And I would say most of my childhood was pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't complain about it. Um,
Can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Like, cause I'm gonna do that. Like, whenever you tell your story, there's a random question. I'm gonna just pause, cause
That's
I don't
fine.
want to go all the way, then I forget. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
fine.
So you say you were five when your mom and dad split,
Mhm.
cause I kind of have a similar thing with that. Like, did you feel a way towards either or did you even have an idea why that happened?
Um,
Because you were very young, so.
yeah, I didn't feel a way about it until I was probably like a teenager. Um,
Hmm.
And at the time, like I felt a way about it because my parents weren't communicating. Like they would communicate through us, which, is not healthy. But
Yeah.
I also too, I am the youngest of two. So I have an older brother. So
Hmm.
that's when I say us. But yeah, like they would communicate through us or like not communicate at all. Or if they did communicate, it was like not very positive, if you get what I'm saying. So I really didn't come to understand what happened until I was like a teenager. I would say like middle school age. And then I really didn't understand like anything that happened until like high school. And
Yeah.
that was when I was old enough to be able to ask like the real questions to be able to get those answers. So, yeah, they really didn't start communicating very well until, which is wild to me, until like, I'm gonna say I graduated college, I wanna think. So it took some time. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of time, but now, I mean, we are in family group chats and it's
Yeah.
great. We can all sit at the table together and laugh and hee, and it's not awkward. But yeah, like at first it was a little tough. It was rough. It was I'm like I don't want to say like my childhood was absolutely terrible, like because it wasn't. But I think that at the end of the day, my parents, both of them, did the best that they could with what they had, and also too with what they were shown from their parents. So
Hmm.
that's what I can say about that.
Right. What would you say is like the biggest lessons that you learned from either or?
Um, I would have to say from my mom, I take on my mom's personality a lot. I'm very much like her in the sense of like ambition and just drive and striving for your goals. Like I don't let up when it comes to that. So I take that a lot from her. The biggest advice that I've taken from her, I mean, what advice haven't I taken from her, honestly?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I would definitely say like just not giving up on your dreams. Like if you want it to happen, you're gonna make it happen. My
Yeah.
dad, on the other hand, he's very like chill, cool, calm, like collected. He's very driven and everything as well, but I think I take more of the spiritual side from him as well as like rest is okay type of side from him as well.
Yeah. So you're a solid mix.
Yes. Yeah, like a very good mix between the two. I would have to say that my brother, I don't know. I don't know, both of us are kind of like a good mix, just in different
Hmm.
ways.
Yeah. So what was school like? Primary, middle, high school? What kind of student were you?
I was always the I'm
Class
never
clown?
no. No.
Mm,
I was never a clown.
okay.
I couldn't tell like a joke to I don't know. I only tell funny jokes when I'm very, very sleepy. But elementary school was pretty cool. I mean, I, I guess you could say well known. I mean, not like
Hmm.
bully type anything like that, but just known. Middle
Yeah.
school, same thing, just well known. But I was also the student that was like I did orchestra and played the violin and the cello, but then I also cheered. So like I just put
Yeah.
my foot into everything.
Yeah.
um yeah, and I started like cheering back in elementary school and gymnastics and everything like that. So that just became my life. Um High school, again, I was the person that just did it all. Like orchestra again, playing instruments. I cheered, I stepped, I was the captain of both of those. Like and then I was also the girl that took the AP classes and the dual enrollment classes to get college credits. And I
Hmm.
wouldn't say like I was the popular girl in the school, but like I did everything. Like yearbook, you name it, I did it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you know any kindergartners that gets suspended?
Take it. I can only think about one.
Oh,
You.
yeah, I was one of those. I don't know. I was definition of a class clown for sure. I don't know what was going on. It was to the point where like my mom would get calls every day.
I know she was just sick of you.
Yeah, but after a while, maybe middle school, that's when I was like, okay, maybe I'm maybe I need to start doing something different because I don't want to get a whooping every single day. So yeah,
You got
after a
some type of
while,
music inspired.
yeah. So after a while, I just like, became more what I am now, just to myself. Don't really bother with nobody. Just do what I gotta do and go home. But yeah, I was especially at middle school, especially high school. Um, definitely to myself. I was not the popular kid at all. Um, oh, that's something else that I should have said as far as like standing on business on, as far as like not forcing relationships
Hmm.
or conversations. You know what I mean? You said something earlier about like um not just damn, what did you say? I lost the train of thought. You said something about damn.
I said a lot of things. I can't even remember.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, just like forcing relationships and just being yourself and not, you know, forcing clicks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And just being yourself. If you have to walk alone, walk alone. That's pretty much it. But yeah, high school, I was one of those kids. I don't care. I do my own thing, and yeah.
Okay, so college.
God, my first year, oh man. Yeah, I was a party guy for sure. Especially my first, like that first semester.
Hmm.
Yeah, every Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, first time ever being away from home long term. No brothers, no mom. Like, what? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of weird how like my college life was because like I started out wild doing just like what college people do. But it's like slowly but surely priorities started to go straight. And sophomore year, well, I had to repeat my sophomore year when I transferred. So I think me transferring was then kind of like the boiling point of realizing what's like important.
Hmm.
Because now I'm going for something that I actually want to do, which is broadcasting. So it's like, okay, now like need to step it up. You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, I went to a whole school where I didn't know anyone. Literally, I'm only here to chase after my dreams. So
Yeah.
I just need to do what I gotta do and get out of here. But I was definitely one of those 5 year college kids. Um,
Same.
definitely not a, huh?
Same.
Oh, you had to repeat too?
Mm, I guess you could say that. Yeah, something like
What
that.
happened?
So you're like how you were more so like party at first and then prioritize. Mine wasn't completely backwards, but like, um, so for those who don't know, I went to Virginia Commonwealth University, which is in Richmond, Virginia. Um,
Yeah.
and I majored in chemistry with a minor in psychology. I did not start my like college career on campus because the way that Richmond is set up, like you can either live off campus with like, family, parents, wherever, or you can live on campus, whichever you choose. Like the campus is not enclosed, if that makes sense. It takes up all of downtown of Richmond. So pretty much I stayed at home my first 3 or 4 years. 3 years, something like that. I stayed at home. I worked two jobs at the time while going to school. And so for me, I had to help out a lot, like at home and just paying for my own schooling, that it kind of, I didn't really have necessarily the time to study like I should
Mhm.
have. So
Yeah,
with me trying to like prioritize everything and trying to actually go to like pay for school. Um, it just so happened that I had to repeat some classes. I did have to take a semester off because there was one semester that I was like working so much, but I couldn't come up with the funds. So my bill did not
yeah,
get paid off in time. So I had to sit out for a semester. But it just made me realize I went right back afterwards, and it just made me realize how much more like, I wanted to finish. And then my last year, my senior year, I finally moved down on campus into my own like apartment with some of my best friends that were in the same apartment complex. So it was great. And I really feel like that was the year that I got to experience college.
yeah.
So really mine was a little bit, I don't know, all over the place. But that's why my 5 year college journey turned out. And I ended up graduating May 2020 during the pandemic.
How fun was
Not fun at all. I cried
that?
literally every day. Like it started, like, so the semester started out in person, and then
Yeah.
literally we went on spring break and we never came back off of spring break, and everything was virtual. So
Mhm.
my friends like went to Miami for spring break and they were like struggling to come back. I stayed at home though because I had a huge paper due after spring break. So I was just kind of like, I just want to chill and write my paper. And yeah, like I said, we went virtual and never came back. I did not get to walk until a year and a half later. Um, I had an in-house graduation party with 15 people, and that was about it. Like I said, that time was very depressing for me because as a new
Mm.
grad, like you're super excited to for the post grad life. Let me find a job. Let me, do all of the things that, post grad life gives you. And the world was closed down. So I basically had to move out of my apartment because my time was up on the campus. Like it was no reason for me to be there anymore. Moved back in with my mom, and I really couldn't find a job in my career because, like I said, everything was shut down. So it was tough. It was very, very rough.
Definitely. But let's back up a little bit. Like, what decided you to go to VCU versus, and what were your other options if there were any?
So I applied to the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. I got in. I applied to VCU, applied to Virginia Tech, got
VTech?
waitlisted, which was crazy to me. And then the last place that I applied was Spelman College, which is in the one of the top HBCUs in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth between Spelman and VCU. It just so happened though that financially I wasn't going to be able to afford Spelman, um, which now looking back on it, I really do like. I'm very glad that I did make that decision, although it hurt me back then because that was my top choice. It hurt me back then.
Hmm.
But ultimately, Spelman is like 45K a year, and my mom was
Crazy.
willing to like make it happen. She was gonna, sacrifice here and everything. And I was like, you know what? When I sit down and think about it, like I am not going to be able to go to Atlanta, Georgia and have all this fun and you're back home struggling trying to pay my college bills. So ultimately, I was like, let me make a sacrifice and stay at home. And the sacrifice was like, if I wanted to transfer, I could, but I just ended up not transferring. Um, and ultimately, what made me want to go to VCU, like in the end of it all, is they are one of the top medical schools in the country. And with me majoring in chemistry, my ultimate goal at first was to become a doctor. Still is a goal, but not
Yeah.
in a doctor of medicine. So that was ultimately how that happened.
My college journey was an interesting one. Obviously, like I told you, my dad passed my junior year of high school. And my dad was a huge chunk of my life, clearly, but I felt like I lost a purpose to even want to just do anything. So the idea of life after high school was just like, flush it down the toilet. Like I don't really care anymore. But how crazy God works, 9 months later, my brother is born. So like it was one of those things where I lost someone, but I gained someone at the same time. So God was like, okay, I'm gonna take this away from you. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna give you this purpose. And now it's up to you what you do with it. So once I realized that, um, it was kind of too late. It was like my senior year, and now it's one of those things where like, okay, it's my senior year, and now what? When you could have easily tried to figure out your future your freshman year. So I was one of those guys that graduated high school, but I skipped a school year, and because I genuinely didn't know what I want to do, which I did because, like I said, broadcasting has been something I wanted to do since I was like 11 or 12. But during those times, I was just too scared, too intimidated, too shy to do it. I cared a lot and too much about what people thought and said. Like Kendrick, out of all people, you're quiet, you're shy, you're going for something that you have to actually talk in. You're not going to do this shit. So to avoid all that, I just didn't go for it at all. And um, yeah, I skipped the school year, and then realization hit me in my face. Like, okay, you have two little brothers looking up to you, and you're just in the house all day. Like, you have to do something, and you have this struggling woman here taking care of three boys. You know what I'm saying? So you have to do something. So, um, the college that I attended the first time, my first 2 years, I went there for sports management. Never in my life did I want to do anything sports management wise, but I kind of use that school as a getaway because,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm in the house every day. Because you got to think, I graduated what, like May, June of 2015, and you got to think the summers. So that's what, June, July, August, a whole school year. So that's what, September, October, November, January. You know what I mean? And uh, that's a lot of time wasted. You know what I mean? So um, I felt like I needed to do something, and I felt like that was the right thing to do at the time because that was the only school accepting me at the time. So I'll just go there just to go there. And like I said, my first year or so, my priorities wasn't straight. I was just living life. But after my second year, it was like the middle point of my second year, my sophomore year, I had my own apartment, right? It was like a four-person complex where like you got a living space, two people here, two people here.
Mhm.
And the two people over here were two football players. And the guy beside me was in a frat. So literally every weekend it was some type of get together, some type of, you know what I mean? So
Party.
literally, huh?
That's a party.
Yeah. So like I got lucky one Saturday night and it was like nobody there, like at all. And I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this, turn my phone off, turn my TV off, turn my game off, and just enjoy that piece. And
Mhm.
in the middle of that piece, that's when I like had the conversation with myself, like, okay, what am I really doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, it's either now or never to go after this goal and dream. It's either continue to lie to my mom, my family, and ultimately to myself that I'm happy here and I really want to go for something in sports management or take a chance on myself, bet on myself, and finally go after this. Because for a very long time, I've always had the mindset of I don't want to be 40, 50, God willing, 60 years old. And I look back in my life and I'm asking myself, like, what if? What if
Mhm.
I would have did this? What if I would have did that? Or I regret not doing this. I regret doing not doing that. So it's important to take care of things while you're young and go after things that you want to do. Because say if it doesn't work out, at least you can say you tried it and you did your best.
Okay.
So, and that mindset I got from my dad. And yeah, I was just thinking about him heavy one day and that night, and was like, you know what? I think it's time. And I felt like the first step in doing that is to transfer. And I had a conversation with my mom the very next day, that Sunday, and she was understandable of it. You know what I mean? Like, kid, you gotta do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing about it was that Kendrick, you have to stay in North Carolina because if I had my way, I, I would have been out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, because that's been my number one goal since forever is to like, move out of my hometown and experience the world and experience something outside of what I'm used to. But I was like, okay. And I spent literally that whole Sunday looking up schools in North Carolina that had that major sports broadcasting. And I almost gave up. I'm not gonna lie to you because it's not a common thing, because it's like when you first look it up, you got Duke, you got Carolina, NC State, ECU, you know what I mean? Schools that do not have it. Central, you know what I mean? So kept scrolling, and then my uh, GPA didn't match certain schools' requirements, which furthered me back even more because I wasn't the most brainiacest kids in the world. I was one of those that's as long as I pass, I'm good. So um yeah, I almost gave up. Then after like the fifth or sixth swipe, I came across Wingate. I almost didn't even give him a chance. I was like, what is this? I never heard it in my life. But I was like, you know what? Let me just look at it. And dad broadcasting. I was like, okay, that's check number one. My GPA matched the requirement. That's check number two. And then on my list, I've always wanted to visit and ultimately live in Charlotte. And then I realized the school was literally 30 minutes from Charlotte.
Mm.
This is my chance. This is my shot. So yeah, three strikes. I'm going here. And I applied. And I remember the moment where I got the email of my acceptance. I was going to my 8 a.m. class because my apartment was literally on one side of the campus and this class was on the other side. And I remember I had to uh, put the pedal to the metal to my bike because I wasn't going to walk with that. And uh, and I remember walking in and getting the email, and I was scared. I was so scared to look at it because I was just so accustomed of getting those no's, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, those rejections. And I remember sitting down because, of course, I sat in the back of the class, you know what I mean? And I sat down and I looked at it because it was like maybe a good 5 minutes left before class started. So everybody was just getting their stuff together. And I looked at it and, Kendra McKnight, we would like to accept you to so and so. I cried, man, because this is the first step to that goal and that dream that I've always wanted. So I remember calling my mom after class, and she was so happy for me and my brothers. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, That was a pretty cool moment. What would you say is your like your most proudest achievement in your life so far?
Mm,
You got a couple.
yeah, I've got a couple.
Mhm.
Um, I would have to say first, graduating with my degree. Well, my first degree. um, I would have to say that you don't see a lot of, and especially I didn't see a lot of Black women in STEM at VCU, and you really don't see a lot of Black women in chemistry or just in STEM in general. Um,
Mhm.
and so to do that was like really, really cool to me. I don't know how else to put it, but it's just really, really cool. And whenever I look at that degree, I'm like, dang, like, I want to tell people what I have my degree, and they're like, are you crazy? And I'm like, just a little bit, yeah. So that has to be one of my biggest achievements. I'm probably skipping over some, but I would say most recently getting into nursing school. So right now I am pursuing a dual degree, an associate's in nursing as well as a BSN in nursing. I am doing my associates with Brightpoint Community College, and then I am doing my BSN with Old Dominion University. So I am, I'm just, like I said, super ambitious, super driven. Nothing's gonna stop
Yeah,
me. So why
yeah.
not go for 2 degrees at once? Sounds wild. So
You're
yeah.
probably having the most fun ever in your life.
Let me say the past 15 weeks, I just finished my first semester with yesterday. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just finished my first semester. The past 15 weeks have been very, very tough. I have been in the trenches. I have very
Yeah,
minimally been on social media. I really only talk to like if people who contact me in my support system. And even
yeah,
then sometimes people contact me and it's taken me a while back to get to them. But like I've really just been in my own little world for the past 15 weeks. I will say that it has been fun. It has been very interesting to finally like get into my field and do what I want to do. But it has also been a lot of hard work and sleepless nights and a lot of tears. So I am exhausted. But
yeah.
I say all this to say, like, I'm very, very excited because I will be done completely with everything, not this December, but next December. So
Okay,
it's not that far away. People have to keep reminding me that, even though it feels so, so far away. But I am now going into semester 2 out of 4. So yeah,
that's fun.
yeah.
You mentioned earlier during your college years, you had like what, two, three jobs?
I had 2 jobs, and
Okay,
yeah, so 2 jobs, and where I was pretty much full time, I guess you could say, and then also
yeah,
like, full time in school.
yeah. How many jobs have you had altogether in life so far?
Um, okay, well, my very first job, I worked at Chipotle. That was fun. Um, my second job, I worked at a hair salon as a receptionist. Third
Okay,
job, I was a gymnastics coach. I worked both of those together, the salon and the gymnastics coach job. Then I started at the job that I'm currently still at after 6 years, which is a
okay,
mental health. Yeah, I just
okay.
celebrated 6 years in April. Um, which is a mental health agency. I'm doing like administrative office work. Um, and then I was also a medical assistant for an OBGYN practice.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many that is, like 5. Yeah, like 5.
I asked people this before, so I'm gonna ask you, right? What's the worst job you ever had when it comes to the people that you had to work with? the money, and then the actual work you had to do.
Are those three separate categories or like all
Yeah,
together?
separate.
Okay. Worst job I had when it comes to people. Um, I would have to say Chipotle just because
Yeah.
like I dealt with a lot of like mean girls during that time. Like I had just graduated from high school and I was like in between high school and college, so just trying
Hmm.
to, work a summer job basically. I dealt with a lot of mean girls and I just did not like that environment. And so like a secret at Chipotle, not I'm dropping Chipotle secrets, but a secret at Chipotle is there's certain times throughout the shift or throughout the time that the, franchise is open that nobody is supposed to move like off of the line. The line being, where they serve food. And during back when I was working there, it was like 5:45 to 7. And that was like called like peak hours, pretty much, dinner time when people are coming through. And
Yeah.
pretty much like I just did not nobody was supposed to move. You would get in trouble if you moved. Like you were supposed to stay in your spot the whole entire time. If you needed something, you called on your manager or somebody who could move, basically. Long story short, it was one busy, busy night. The line was like basically out of the door. And these two girls that I was not really like cool with, and but they were cool with each other, they left me on the line by myself for about a good 20, 30 minutes with the line out the door. And people were getting very, very upset with me, because it was just me. And
That wasn't your fault.
I mean, customers were getting upset with me. They didn't know what was happening.
Wait. Yeah.
So when people are hungry or hangry, they don't care.
Hmm.
They just want their food. So ultimately,
Yeah.
like I'm like having to make the bowls and burritos from like beginning to end. And some people order some pretty hefty burritos that are very hard
Hmm.
to wrap. So it just doesn't it's not time efficient without everybody where they should be. Um the second category you said pertaining to the money,
Yeah.
I would have to say the
Hmm.
I would have to say the gymnastics place, unfortunately. The amount of work that you do when you are dealing with like kids and especially kids in like a environment with like a sport, it just it didn't match up. And then also too, a lot of the times like we would have to um like it was just very hard to like replace your shift with somebody else or like, take days off basically. You
Yeah.
would think it would be easy, but it was not. Sometimes we would have to work on the weekends because, meets and competitions were on the weekends. So it just wasn't, I mean, it was fun to work with the kids and it was cool to like, go back to something that I used to love. But the work of it wasn't great just because sometimes you could tell the kid didn't want to do it, but the parent did want them to do it. Like they're like, she's gonna be the next Simone Biles, and it's like your kid doesn't even want to do this, so why force them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it came to the work, eh. And then what was the last category?
The worst job you ever had when it comes to the actual work you had to
Yeah, I would say, yeah, ooh, the actual work. Hmm.
do.
Um, that's a hard one because part of me wants to say the medical assistant, but then again, that is my field that I want to go into. I just feel like a lot of healthcare workers are overworked and underpaid. So I just didn't like that part of it, if that makes sense. I mean, like it was
Based,
a very cool job and I got to see a lot of stuff, but the amount of hours that I was on my feet and the like, I don't know how to explain it, but medical assistants are very underrated and don't get enough credit.
based,
But hmm,
based off the story that you just said, I would say Chipotle.
I would say Chipotle too. Yeah, like I don't know, I love the medical. I don't know. I love the medical assistant job. I really did. Um, it was just one of those things of again, healthcare just does not. They don't pay their people. Yeah, I would have to say Chipotle or the salon.
Okay.
The salon was kind of a hostile, well, I don't want to say hostile environment, but it was not the greatest environment because it was a predominantly white salon. Let me just say it like that. And I was the only Black person there working there, only person who was in there to do anything, honestly. So I had a lot of people like if like right now, if I were to go in there, they would be like, "Oh my gosh!" I had somebody literally tell me like, "Oh my gosh, did you go to Africa to get those done?" Yeah. So I had to take a lot of discrimination and just couldn't say anything because then I'm gonna lose my job.
What was this at? Great Clips or something?
No, I'm not gonna name the place. Out of respect, I'm not gonna name the place because
Okay.
Richmond is people don't believe it, but Richmond is small. It's small. To me, it's small. If you were born and raised here, it's small. So I will leave it at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it's small.
Yeah. I how many jobs have I had? I had two of the plantations that I think I told you about.
Mhm.
I got Walmart currently, commissary, Bob Evans, Lowe's, and Big Lots. I think is that it? And the cafeteria at both of my universities.
Mm.
So I guess that's what, nine. Uh, the worst one as far as the actual work. Hmm, I don't think it's pleasant going inside of a dead bird and taking its heart out. That's not cool, right?
Where did you do that?
Yeah, I worked at a turkey plant. I worked evisceration.
Mm.
Yeah. By the time the bird was coming to me, it was already dead, but you know what I mean? It's a whole process. Like you gotta, yeah. And sometimes like it's like freshly dead. So like sometimes their eyes are already open and it's like looking at you. So that was the scary part of it. But yeah. And then sometimes I felt bad because someone was pregnant and like we had to take like the it's not funny.
No.
It's not funny. It's not funny, but like yeah, the egg you had to throw it away. Like, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was bad. But you got paid though, you know. You got paid.
You
Um
smell like bird whenever you came home.
yeah. Yeah.
Ew. 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 Okay.
Immediately go in the shower. Like
And
immediately.
I thought me smelling like Mexican food was bad.
Nah. Nope.
Oh no.
You
Mm-mm.
want to switch? You would you like to switch?
No.
You no? Okay. Uh
I barely could handle when I was in anatomy and physiology like 6 months ago. I could barely handle like dissecting things. We had to dissect a pig. Like, no, I'm good.
a whole pig?
Hmm. A baby pig at that.
Like a whole pig.
I mean, it's a baby pig, so it's like that big.
What the pig do?
The pig was needed for science.
That's tough. Um Worst job I had money wise. Mm, I'll say Big Lots. They didn't really pay me like that for real. Maybe like nine, eight, if that. And I only worked like 3 days, maybe four. It was trash, absolute trash.
And now Big Lots is like shutting down everywhere.
Yeah. Really?
I mean, it is here.
Wow. I never heard that.
Unfortunately.
Mm. What was the third one? I got the work. I got the money. What was the other one?
I thought it was like the worst. No, I'm gonna choose it for you, regardless of like what it was. It's the birds. That's the worst. Takes up two categories. That's the worst.
Wait, let me see. I got it. Hold on. Oh,
That's
the people that I had to work with. Um, got a couple of them that could be fighting for number one. Um, because I come from a small town. You know what I mean? So when you have a dreamer like myself that wants more in life, and you're surrounded by small town and small minded people,
mm,
uh, that can be a tough crowd to mingle with. And then you try to converse and you try to mingle with your coworkers, you know what I mean? And you share certain things or you share a certain perspective on things, and
mhm,
then you're looked upon as the weird person, or you know what I mean? Or
mhm.
like you're not going to do that, or simply be told that. So that's kind of a whole thing to say. But um honestly, I'll say my last job. The commissary one, terrible. I'll say this, right? If you're sitting at a table with someone and they are blatantly talking about somebody else in your face, 10 times out of 10, when you leave, they're talking about you
Yeah,
or talking to that person that they're talking about you about you.
yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, I feel like at some point you're going to come up as a topic of conversation. Maybe not
Yes.
like exactly when you leave, but you're the topic of conversation at some point.
Yeah. I was surrounded by that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to get out of there. It took me 2 years to do it, but I'm out of here. But yeah, I'll say that for sure. Yeah. You got something?
I was just gonna say that is a tough spot to be in because
Yeah.
people, I don't know, people who are unhappy are really try and bring, others down with them. So good thing that you did get out of there.
Yeah. And then I had one guy, bro, for two, I just said I was there for 2 years, right? I can count on my one hand and not many is gonna go up how many times this guy and I had a conversation. Not because I didn't care for him, but he just never liked me at all. And never did or say anything out of the way to the guy ever. So it's kind of going back to what you said. People are just miserable and just don't care for you like that at all for whatever reason. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I'm the type of person that I match energy. So it is what it is. And going back to what I said earlier, not forcing. conversations with people, and it is what it is. But you ever have to deal with that in any job or school or
But where misery loves company type thing.
yeah?
Yeah. I mean, who has it? They
You'd
just say
be
it like that.
surprised.
Like, it happens. It's just all in how you react to it. Either you can stoop down to that level and engage in it
Yeah.
and allow them to bring, you know, you down with them, or you can
Hmm.
walk away.
Which is
So,
not easy.
no, no, not at all. And for me, I definitely understand that because I'm like such a caring, like giver type person. And I
Hmm.
just like for everyone around me to be, in the best mood and happy and things are great. And
That's not possible.
you know, I mean now I know that, but now
Yeah.
I know that, of course. Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Hmm.
What was the, as much as you can remember, what was the most naive, um, I guess, perspective that you've had before? Where like at one point you felt this way, then you went through some stuff and you was like, why did I think that? Or why did I say that?
Mm,
Can I give you my answer so you can get a better perspective?
yeah.
Okay, so like I remember growing up, I was that kid where, I'm quiet, I'm to myself, I don't bother nobody. Oh, everybody in the world is gonna like me. Oh, everybody's gonna think I'm cool. Everybody's gonna think that I'm this and that. Then I go to this place called high school, and it was like total 360. You know what I'm saying? People will feel a way about you any type of way. Everybody's not gonna think that you're cool. Everybody's not gonna like you. Everybody's not gonna feel the way that you feel. It was like a whole reality check for me. And I was very uncomfortable because again, I had this mindset. Then I go through here and it's like, what? So what's that for you?
I think it would have to be mainly that, and I still
Okay.
struggle with that sometimes.
Still?
But also the thinking of everyone is going to reciprocate what you give out back to you.
Yeah.
I think that is was and still is a hard thing to grasp. That the energy, the time, the blood, sweat, and tears that you can put out into other people, the expectation of that returning to you from them, it should not be existent or it should be very, very low.
Hmm.
um, yeah. I don't know why I always just expected myself out of others, but again, it goes with the caring, giving. I want to see everyone do well. So you kind of think like, okay, I would hope that I'm doing all of this, that I would have the same feelings reciprocated. And some people are just for themselves. Some people genuinely do not um, think about that, or they just take, take, take while you give, give, give. Um, or sometimes people are just, have malicious intent and it's just like, whatever. So it just
Yeah.
depends. But not everybody has that, mentality. So yeah.
Sometimes you gotta, my dad always told me sometimes, son, you just not gotta not give a F sometimes. I
I say
always
too.
laughed when he said that, but now that I got older, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And also too, like just be conservative with who you are giving and pouring into until you can kind of distinguish like, okay, why are they really here? You know? And being okay with the fact that sometimes you may still give, and be wrong
Hmm.
about your perception of them. So it just kind of, it's just one of those things where you have to like guard your heart, protect your mind. And it all just goes back to communication, but also too goes back to, making sure that you
C
take care of yourself
C word.
first.
Yeah.
So,
Are you
yeah.
like me, where you live life with a an invisible shield around you,
What do you mean by that?
as far as blocking people away in fear of getting hurt?
Um, Unfortunately, recently that has started to become a thing. Before, no.
Okay.
Before, no. Up until recently, yes. So,
Do you
but
mind sharing why, or no?
um, I think that in a roundabout way, and not going in detail about it, I think that
Yeah.
it is one of those things where you, again, like I said, you give, and you expect the same in return. And um, in your giving, you're expecting. When I give to people, I give out of a place of love, kindness, care, generosity, genuineness, all of that. And so I think that for me, recently, I have just not experienced that a lot. And I've had to come to terms with it's okay with, you know, the circle getting smaller, I guess you could say, but also to just relying on the people that have been there for a while and that I know I can communicate to them without the fear of losing them. Um, and just previous like hurt and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Mine is you know, it comes from my dad. That's where most of my, I ain't gonna say problems, but like that's where most of my uh stuff comes from. Just having that built-in um trauma, and for a very long time holding it in and not talking about it, and just being angry at the world, and kind of blaming myself as far as like not doing enough for him while he was here. And uh yeah. And that kind of went through and pushed through like relationships, and just just not inferior of feeling that same hurt from my dad.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's where most of my comes from.
I will say though that it's not, I'm recognizing that, I'm getting to that space, but I'm also recognizing that it's not a good space to be in. Um,
Yeah.
I am the number one advocate now for therapy.
Oh,
But
I'm in it too, but you
I
know,
know.
it's not
But yeah, like
easy.
no, I'm just saying like I can recognize now that it's not like a good place to come in because, you ultimately end up blocking blessings, and misreading people, I guess you could say, or, misreading their intent. And that could ultimately, like I said, block a blessing. Um, and also, too, just harboring unforgiveness within yourself as well as other people that, then just builds into more and more issues. So, yeah. I can recognize like I'm getting to that space, but I also can recognize I don't like being in that space.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because I literally just thought about it just now. Because my I guess you can say therapist, my counselor, my mentor, asked me this during our last meeting, and I'm gonna ask you, what's something that you are, I guess, um, I guess a lesson or something that you are learning how or more doing more to do during like this year that you're striving for, I guess, this year. It's a bad wording, but
I think I'm catching on to like what you're asking.
yeah,
More so like what's a lesson or what's something that I'm striving to do more this year?
yes.
Or I mean, is it
Or
different?
like I guess growth in a way that you are slowly learning so far this year, or what's something else that you are striving for to uh, jump over that hurdle for this year that you
Um,
haven't yet crossed over.
I think for me personally, I would say mm, my overthinking mindset, growth wise, that is hindering me. But I will say I am growing in it because, again, I can recognize when I am
Yeah.
doing it, and the fact that, like, just overthinking and letting my mind, like, wonder just kind of does a little more harm than good. And ultimately, just it makes me realize, like, just go to the source. Like, if you're wondering something, just go to the source and ask
Hmm.
with like then you're going to get the concrete answer instead of having to go 3 4 days of wondering the same exact thing. So I think for me, just getting over my overthinking mindset, I have not reached it yet, but it's getting better. What
Trust
about
me,
you?
I know. I'm an overthinker as well. So, like my answer is, can you read this?
Forgiven.
Yeah. So, like I told you before about my dad passing, and for a very very long time, I didn't even attempt to forgive myself for blaming myself for uh, not doing enough while he was here. And I lived my life with imaginary black cloud over me because of that. And there were many times where I hated what I saw in the mirror based off of that. And I recently got this during either my interview or my orientation with the job that I have now.
Mhm.
And it was like a church selling like stuff, like merch and stuff, like bracelets, cups, whatever, any type of donations to them. And I was walking out, and dude came to me about whatever. And I saw the bracelets because I've always been a bracelet guy. I've always wanted something on my arms. And I looked, and this was the first one that I saw, and I got it. Um, just me looking at it every single day and wearing it, it kind of made me put me in a space to finally be in a process to finally forgive myself for that, which hasn't been easy, but I can honestly say that I am finally on that path to do so because of me wearing it. So that's my, I guess, um, growth is and where I'm at with it this year so far. Um, I, I have an attempt to calm the overthinking nerves as well. I think that's just me, I guess. I've been doing it for 26 years, so I just like I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see about that one. But my dad, forgiving myself is definitely number one so far.
I will say though, um, from my therapist, the very first step that we have tried with, just stopping the overthinking is also not claiming it or saying that I am an overthinker. And I know I said it like earlier, but basically trying not to claim it like, as a character trait and trying to basically just say that I like, just kind of detach it away from like identity. So maybe that will be also helpful with the overthinking piece of it.
That's tough though, ain't
It's very tough.
it? Yeah.
It is very tough. But that's where the work begins, is trying not to attach it to your identity any longer. That's not who you are, or at least put it in a more positive light rather than in a negative aspect.
I think it is positive, Loki.
Okay,
It
well,
means that you care. Just a little too much though, but you care.
I mean, yes, but for me, I think that I care to the point where it will affect me physically, if that makes sense. Like
Yes.
not being able to sleep, not that's
Yeah.
the negative aspect of it where I'm like,
Yes.
I don't want to claim that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, in the positive sense, yes, I care. Yes, I really, really care. And I want to know and, I want to fix things and all of that. But when it starts to do more harm than good, that's when I have to detach it.
If it's to the point where it affects you mentally and just like you said, physically as well, I don't think it's like worth it, to be honest.
Um, it's easier said than done, but also too,
Yeah.
most of my overthinking comes with more so like situations and people and things that have happened. And if I like misread a situation or, do they feel some type of way? Those types of things. And so for
Yeah.
me, it's um for some of the things that I overthink about, just into a little like tidbit of my brain, for some of the things that I overthink about, it really could be resolved if I just go straight to the person and just, be transparent and let it out.
Yeah.
For some of it, though, the person or people are not around for that closure to come. So that is where it's hard to not let it affect, you know?
Are you a words of affirmation type of woman? Like
Mm,
love language? And
love
where does
language.
that rank? And I think it's like five, right?
Mm, I wouldn't say five. I don't know. Quality time is definitely like number one for me.
Okay.
I want to say words of affirmation are like third.
Okay.
I think it's third. Now you make me want to like look it up.
Like the other
Just to,
ones?
yeah, just to see. Um, when I think about acts of service, that's where I'm kind of like,
Hmm.
mm, mm. Let's see. Acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts. Quality time would have to be number one.
Okay.
Um, Physical touch number two. Words of affirmation number three. I don't wait. Let me. mm, no, words of affirmation is like number four. Receiving gifts is three. Then words of affirmation, and then acts of service. But again, that could change.
Yeah.
Change.
Can you guess my number five?
Would it be acts of service?
No, receiving gifts. I'm not a gift guy. Don't give me nothing. I'll gladly appreciate it, but I'm
Hmm.
more of a acts of service guy. So I would
Hmm.
say that's like four. And then uh see it's tough because I am a words of affirmation guy, but at the same time, I love quality time and touch. So it's like it's hard to pick what's three. Um because I need to hear that from my partner. I need to hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um
That's what I said. It
so
can change.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very it just depends.
Maybe touch three, then quality time, words of affirmation.
I mean, I could probably now that I'm like getting older and
How old are you, by the way?
I am 26, about to be 27.
27. Okay. That's
You
right. You're like a couple months older than me.
Yeah, you see how much that has like pained me to say that. Because I'm like, oh gosh, so close to 30. Um,
Only 3 years.
those 3 years are gonna fly. They're gonna fly. I mean, I was just turning 25, and
Yeah.
then boom, like that was very fast. But yeah, I feel like love languages can switch. So
You said what?
I said, yeah, I feel like love languages can switch. Like they can just kind of change, just depending.
It can. Yeah. I got a random question for you that has nothing to do with what we just talked about.
Okay.
It may be dumb because you mentioned her earlier, but what's a celebrity death that hit you hard? Yeah, I know. But at the same time, you wasn't really, you know what I'm
I'm
saying? Like,
three, so
yeah, like,
I will
come
say
on.
that one, no, really didn't hit me hard. I was too young to like even recognize that. Looking back on it now, whenever I see like, footage from all of that, yeah, makes me shed a tear.
What?
I
That's not.
cry. That and like Left Eye. It was just everything was just so sad. Um, Celebrity death made me like shed a tear. Um, I would have to say either like Whitney Houston or Michael
Okay,
Jackson.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really feel the impact of Michael until I got older,
Yeah.
because that was like middle school for me. So it was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
But like Whitney Houston was also like high school. I think what made that death like a little hard was the fact that like her daughter, Bobby Christina, like died like a year later in the same way. So like that kind of hit hard. Um,
yeah.
I don't know who else. I really feel like, and I hate to say it like this, and I don't want to sound like so morbid, but there have been a lot of celebrity deaths, and it's just been that is part of the reason why I got off of social media. Like it was just depressing.
Yeah,
Couldn't handle it.
yeah.
It's too much. I'm pretty sure I got off of social media like after Offset passed or something like that.
Offset. You mean Takeoff?
Take off. Oh,
That's crazy. That's
now I
crazy.
killed off the wrong
That's crazy.
emojis.
That's
Yeah, take off.
crazy.
Sorry. Yeah, once that happened, I was off of social media.
Yeah. Ooh. My top three that just like killed me. Number one, obviously Kobe. That messed me up for sure. Uh,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
driving. I cried.
yeah.
Yeah, that was, and yeah, no, I was no good for a few days.
Number two, because you know how much of a Fast and Furious person I am. So when Paul Walker passed, that destroyed me. And what's crazy is that Paul passed on the 30th of November 2013. And literally a month later, my dad passed. Well, on the
Mm.
31st. But so that was a crazy year for me. Then three, Chadwick.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, that
I
was my
think that
guy.
just happened very like quickly, and I think that's why I was very sad because people were really like joking on him and his appearance like months before, and
Hmm.
then like not even knowing that he was battling cancer, and then it just happened very, very quickly. I think with Kobe, the fact that like Gigi was with him, yeah, no good. Um, yeah, I would definitely say like those two. I mean, I felt the effects of like Paul, but I didn't feel it really until they came out with the one like that I guess remembered him at the end.
Seven, yeah.
Yeah, once I saw that in the movie theater, I was like, "Oh wait, this is real."
Oh, you saw it.
Yeah,
You actually went to the movies to watch Fast Seven
yeah. Don't know why. I mean, I don't remember like why, but
because it's a great movie. So have you like you watched like more of it, or you just watched that one?
who hasn't watched all the Fast and Furious series?
You'd be surprised. So
No.
you've seen all of them.
Yeah.
You went to the movies, paid your hard-earned money to watch a Fast and Furious
Okay, I may not have went to the movies and watched all of them, but I have watched all of them.
movie. Okay, so you're caught up all the way.
I think after seven, I stopped.
There's three more.
Not the same. Not the same.
Oh man, because
I
you
mean,
got
at
eight,
least I
nine,
have the
10.
first seven.
That's very true.
Give me
That's
some
very
credit.
true. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Just
not
can't.
gonna lie though, like, huh?
I said just can't get through the last three. Sorry.
It's okay. Um, with Chadwick, that low key kind of inspired me though, as far as like not telling anyone your condition and still be pushing yourself to work. You know what I'm saying? Because he was sick from the first Black Panther to what? The latest movie he had?
Wasn't it like 21 Bloods or something like that?
21 Bridges.
Dang, like I'm just,
Yes.
I told you I'm not a movie person.
Yeah.
I'm just butchering every name possible, but it's okay. Hope your fans don't come for me.
For what?
I don't know, butchering movie names. Killing off the wrong Miko.
Yeah, exactly. Are you an MCU person?
Am I a what kind of person?
MCU.
MCU?
MCU.
Do I even want to know what MCU means?
Marvel, DC.
Oh. Um, no. I would say Black Panther, which is Marvel, right? I would say that's
Yes.
the not really.
So you're just like me. You entered because of Black Panther, right? Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen like Captain America and stuff, but like doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah. Did you see Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
How you feel about that? Be honest.
I wasn't a huge fan. I feel like it didn't live up to like the first one.
Well, the first one is iconic. I mean, I
Yeah.
felt like nothing they did would do was going to be better than that.
I mean, I know that there were a lot of like unanswered like questions and stuff like that, but part of me, now that I've like seen Wakanda Forever, part of me is kind of like, they should have just left it alone.
You think so?
Because that first one is so iconic. Like, how are you gonna top that?
Especially now without T'Challa.
How are you gonna top that?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
I
like,
agree.
for instance, I hear they're coming out with what's it, a Creed 4 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it should have just ended at 3. But then again, like,
Why?
Creed is my series. I love Creed. I will watch that several times. I don't know how I feel about the fourth one. Like, I feel like everything that needed to be said and be done was done in the first 3.
I'm gonna be honest. I only watched the third one, and I love Michael B. But my thing is, I'm not a huge boxing movie person.
Hmm.
But the only reason why I watched the third one is because of Jonathan Majors was in it. To be honest with you, and I was like, oh, Jonathan and Michael B. Oh yeah, I gotta watch that for sure.
I think the best one was, I want to say the second one.
Why everybody say that?
I don't know. It's that something about that desert scene that just gets me.
I guess I'm biased because I only watched the third one, but I have to watch the
I
second
would recommend to go watch
one.
first and second. What to think?
I got you. Okay, so like you're not a movie person, but I'm still ask like, what's a franchise that should have stopped a long time ago, and what's a movie that should have more sequels,
Mm.
or maybe in your sense, like what's a TV series that should have way more seasons versus series that should have stopped seasons ago?
All right, I can answer that one. Series.
Okay, perfect.
Movies, don't know that. Um, I would say a series that should have stopped a while ago, Grey's Anatomy.
But you like Grey's Anatomy.
I do, up until a certain point. I have not watched the past few seasons, if I'm being honest. because you're just starting to like retell stories that you've already done before, just in a different way. Like I feel like after I want to what are they on like season 20 or something like that? After 20 seasons, it's kind of hard to like or 17, 18, I don't know, they're up there. It's kind of hard to keep figuring out like medical mysteries, do you know what I'm saying? To like solve. And
Yeah,
then also too, it became way more like at first it was way more about the medical, like the medicine of it all, and now it's more so about the drama and the personal lives and the relationships, and it's like, uh,
yeah,
okay. Personally, I feel like it shouldn't have like a lot of the medical shows during the COVID time period, they reenacted the COVID time period, and it's like I feel like it should have stopped a little bit before then. Because honestly, first of all, we don't want to rewatch like something that happened in real time, like that's just overall depressing. Like nobody wants to see that. I get it, you're trying to like bring awareness to the healthcare heroes and stuff and like a different perspective, but I just feel like
yeah.
it should have stopped. A series that should have more seasons. This is a very recent series that I watched, but I think that it needs to come out with season two, three. It just needs to continue until all the questions are answered in the series. But Black Cake, which is on Hulu,
I've heard about
it's a book, but it's also a show on Hulu. And right now it's only one season. I want to say it's like 8 episodes. And every single episode has you on your toes. And I just feel like once it got to the season finale, like some questions were still not answered where they should have more seasons.
that. Cliffhanger.
Yeah. No,
So it's
like
more like
seriously, like
a
they had like major cliffhangers at the end, and I'm just like, no, 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 no. Like, I need to know what happens. So it's like, okay, well, do I just go and get the book and read the book to get to the end to figure out what happened? Like, I don't know how to do that.
so it's like a thriller.
No, it's more like a suspense, but also like romance, I guess you could say.
Bro.
I don't know how to describe it without giving it away, but basically, this lady is dying. She has cancer. She dies, but she leaves all these tapes behind for her children to listen to about who she really like was. And so each episode, they are listening to a tape, and it comes to find out that their mom is really not who they think she was. But it just goes through her life journey and everything that happened, and but also too, like I said, there's a bit of romance in it too. So
So throughout the tape, it's like reenactments of it, or they're just sitting, just listen to it.
yeah, so it kind of jumps between present and like past
I
as
got
they're
you.
like listening to the tapes. It jumps to the past to kind of like, show you what actually happened.
Okay.
Yeah. But as the tapes like unfold, there's like more and more things that just keep coming out that they did not know about. 10 out of 10
So,
recommend. I watched it all in one night and I literally did not go to sleep until like 1 o'clock in the morning because I was just like, I need to know more.
so you're a binger.
Yes.
I was a binger during my time recovering from surgery. Yeah, I had no choice. I was home. I couldn't work, so could go nowhere. So I might as well watch something. Did you ever watch the Watcher on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Is
I
that serious?
recommend. Yeah, it's like 7, 8 episodes.
Send all the recommendations my way now that I have nothing to do.
I got you.
Yeah, send all the recommendations. I'm definitely down to binge watch any show right about now. Um, yeah. But no, I get it. I when I had my surgery, was it a year ago? I had nothing but time on my hands.
Was it a year?
Mhm. It's been a year, a long year, but
Yeah, yeah. You got any questions for me? Because you're a podcaster as well, so I was like,
I'm a podcaster. Um, I guess I guess you could kind of tell your viewers why me for the 10th episode.
so like when I initially came up with the idea, um literally the first couple of people you were on it, to be honest with you. But I try to because I had it in order. So if I had it my way, you would have been like episode 5 or 6. Um, but the people in front of you wasn't getting back with me, and I was going back to the previous conversation of overthinking. Because I wasn't getting those responses back that I wanted as far as them coming on. I just threw away the list and just inbox people that I know for sure would have came on. And when I did this person, I randomly thought about this person and that person and this person. And then people that I had originally on the list got pushed back and back. You know what I'm saying? And once I got the people that I wanted and did, then that's when I was like, okay, I can't no longer delay this because I think it'll be special. It's a 10th episode, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? How did you feel when I finally reached out to you to finally do it?
Um, quite surprised. I mean, I was just surprised. Yeah.
I'm not surprised because
I don't
you
know.
are an avid watcher of the series and not just the series, but my channel. So you know what I'm
I don't know.
saying?
I really don't know. Like, I think it was just more so, um, I don't know. I just feel like I was just not expecting it, honestly.
Is that overthinking?
Mm, no. Mm-mm.
Okay,
I just wasn't expecting it.
okay,
So, yeah.
I got you. You're
I
on
do have
now.
a question. Wait, what?
What's up?
Um, I don't know if anybody has ever asked you this. I don't remember, but you can let me know. And since it is the 10th episode, I think that this is a good time to ask.
Okay,
What do you plan or hope to get out of doing this podcast?
I never been asked that. Awesome. Um, well, the initial reason why I started doing it is because I'm not where I want to be as far as career wise, like have an actual job within the field. Um, it kind of pushed me to put more content out there on the channel just to make myself feel like I'm doing something pertaining to what I went to school for.
Hmm.
And um, what kind of wanted me to like talk to people and like interview is I had a class during uh my online studies at my certificate program, and I liked it surprisingly. Um, it challenges you to think outside of the box, to ask certain questions. And I've always been a intuitive person and curious on why you do this, why do you do that. I noticed that you do this. How come? You know what I mean? I've always been that type of person in asking just like the, the important questions. And and I remember doing something with my brothers. That's what kind of sparked everything.
Mm.
And just asking like wrestling questions. And I liked it and I enjoyed it. And I hit one of my friends up about it. And he was like, "Yeah, I do it." And we did it. And me uploading it and just trying to figure out like could I name this for? Like what's a interesting name? And like conversations with Kendra just rolled off the tongue. I was like, okay. Then I hit my sister up, not really thinking she would do it. Then she actually did it. And then that happened and I was like, okay, maybe I can actually do a series with this. Then that's when the ball started rolling. And yeah. And now we're here, 8 episodes in, and now we're at 10. So we're gonna push a 20, then 30.
So what's for the next 10?
Huh?
I said, what's for the next 10? Or are you
See,
keeping it?
I'm learning from my initial start point and not having certain people at certain episodes and just whoever I reach out to and they're willing to do it. Okay, let's do it. So not having certain expectations. That's something I'm learning as well. Just go with the flow. Have an open mind.
Okay. Well,
That
I
was a
hope
great question.
thanks.
A
I hope that
fantastic
episode
question.
20 is awesome. So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I also want to do like parts. You know what I mean? Like just because I have you on once, that doesn't mean it's over, you're done, you're never coming back. Like I would love to have like a part two or however many we do.
or a panel.
So, huh?
Or a panel.
Yeah, I did a panel with like a wrestling panel with my previous video was a panel.
Non-wrestling, but
Not non oh yeah. I
yeah.
wouldn't know to talk about.
I mean, you would have to choose a specific topic, depending on who you choose. Well, or choose a topic first, then choose who. But
Like give me an idea.
um, like for instance, I was just on another podcast. Actually, I was asked to do that about post grad life and any advice and how did it go, and any advice
Okay.
to like new, grads.
So just grab people that I went to school with and just ask them what was college like and post college,
Yeah, what are some lessons
stuff
that
like that.
you learned? What would you do differently? Stuff like that. With some advice you can give, especially from being a post grad, especially related to mental health and, stuff like that.
That's solid. You're
I
always coming up with great ideas.
I have more ideas, but I can give that to you later.
I get you. Because you were the one that gave me the idea for my vlog.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes, and I think I was the one that gave you the idea to rename it when you did a name change.
What was the what was the original name for it?
I think you just had your name. That was it. Oh, I can't even remember.
For my channel or the video?
Channel. I cannot
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, for the longest it was just my name. And then when like no, so like when I originally started it, it was like talking sports with Kendrick
Oh
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
sports
You
talk with Kendrick or some
talking
shit like
sports with Kendrick, and then you didn't want it to be just about sports anymore, so you needed a new name.
that. Yeah, and then I just and for like a short portion of time it was just my name. Then I was like, that's kind of weird. Then the life of Kendrick, it just makes sense as far as like this conversations with then my sports life, and it just makes sense. Life of Kendrick.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense. You got anything else? That was a great question. Probably the best question throughout this whole thing.
thanks. Um, any upcoming plans for the channel that you would like to release, or is everything a secret right now?
You know, I'll move in silence. You know
I
that. But what
mean,
I
it's
can
episode 10. You
say,
gotta give people something.
yeah. Um, the goal is to do like the panel that I did recently with the wrestling show. The goal is to do a review for every single pay-per-view for the year with us three. That's the goal. So the next one is in like 3 weeks. Then after that, another 3 weeks, and so on and so forth. So
Gotta
we're
get
gonna try
started.
to, yeah, we got some time. Got some time. You know what I'm saying? But that's all
Well,
I'm saying though.
well, I appreciate it, the chance to come on and talk.
Well, for sure. I feel like I know you more, like more and more. You know, I already knew you, but like you know more now.
Is there
You know
really
what I'm saying?
things that I mentioned that you really did not know?
No, I'm just talking for the camera.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, it was great to like catch up though, for sure.
Yeah.
This has been a while.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah, conversations with Kendrick. This was the tenth episode, man. And yeah. And you say you don't get on social media, but my thing at the end of every episode, I always say you plug your social media for people to follow you.
So even though I'm not really on Instagram, I can
You're
say
on
that I
TikTok.
am on TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
Um, so I can give my TikTok. I'm pretty sure it's at KDub17 or at KDub, something like that. So
Okay.
I'm really trying to grow on TikTok. In
You
the
post?
huh?
You post
Yeah,
like regularly or
no. I have
okay.
content though that just needs to go up. I really wanted to post about like my first semester of nursing school, but I had to be careful with that because HIPAA, um, as well, HIPAA confidentiality. Um, and just have to be careful
Is that
because
nurse talk?
yeah, I had to be careful because like my school also has policies surrounding that. So not trying to get kicked out of school for TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so just I have the content though. Just need to go through it and post it. But
Good.
I have a couple posts. But my
Okay.
goal is to post about nursing, lifestyle, and wellness, and just help the folks get into nursing school or navigate through it. So that is the
Good.
only other social media that I have, of course, other than Facebook. But
I was about to say you have Facebook.
I have Facebook, but that's only for family and close friends. So sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. My last question to you is this, like for sure, like this is it. So when it comes time for me to post this, do you would you like for me to just say like Kyra Watson or like Kyra Ann Watson?
Please do not put my
Like,
whole government out there.
oh, my bad. My bad. I got you. I just want to ask. I just want
Yeah.
to ask.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Like she said, K Dub on 17 on
Mhm.
TikTok. And till next time. Yes, sir.
Bye.